Google has a lawsuit because the government thinks that their Android system is a monopoly. When it comes down to giving power to the people, Google is really good at that. There's Google Drive, there's YouTube, there's other things that they bought to make the experience a lot better. But if you think about giving power to the people, they really come across as doing it themselves and being a DIYer, and they take into account your perspective, and they could have some racial implications or some ignorant implications which they give you power or give you a 1-star, and they have the power over you. This sort of ideation from society thanks to technology and modernism is really bad because not everyone is on the same page, and people are actually working really hard to advance and become rich thanks to capitalism and democracy. So if you put this together, the government would be right, but Google would be right too. So who would be the right answer? Well, if you suppose everyone was on the same page, then not everyone would be on the same page, and that would be because of the government, and Google would still give power to the people, and you would still be able to realize that my power here is basically because I'm spending more energy to learn about. There are just certain individuals which the mental health system is supposed to take care of, but the mental health system instead creates them to be more angry and creates more terrible dispositions when it comes across to modernism. If you like what I said, hit the like and subscribe. Oftentimes we have mental health patients and clients who are basically fighting off what the whole bigger picture and what we're all supposed to do is saying. These guys turn into criminals, and they turn into big advocates, or they turn into protesters, and they want whatever we're doing that we're supposed to be on the same page by the government to stop because they don't agree with it. Unfortunately, they don't possibly know the amount of resources, or they haven't studied enough, or they maybe studied too much of being anti-government and anti-one-pagers that they've decided to commit to crime. Fortunately, Google does give some power, and you are able to post and get some more influence. That's why you should use social media. That's why I also recommend you use some social media, but make sure that you follow community guidelines. Additionally, if you think about what Google's monopoly problem is giving power to the people. The government could also be assisting the people because these individuals who come across as very powerful beings by overutilizing, just as these mental health patients who begin to protest against the government, they overutilize the technology that they have, and they start getting arrogant and start posting many things, or start going out deliberately just to give Uber drivers or a store a 1-star. And this has been a common problem, but USA said if it happens many times, then we can do something about it until we have a solid understanding of it, because all this technology is new. Furthermore, if you are on the same page, then you would realize you would have to follow one of the government officials' rules of discrimination if your country has them. And people often, they are so terrible, and they're so used to being harassed and bullied by not being a specific race, culture, or American nationality, that they start to band together and disagree with you for being your nationality. So if the government is issuing a mandate on Google about your monopoly because they believe that it's not helping people because they have power to get together and be discriminatory, and that would be a good thing, which is why if you look at Google's giving power to the people, it would also be a bad thing. But if you have a simple mind and you're unable to handle it, there is that argument, and you wouldn't be able to achieve your goals because simply put, my power here as an individual using this technology affecting you that you inherently contacted the government about discriminatory practices that are initially anti-competitive, which the government has ever taken this case and possibly has won. I checked back on the case, and I'm starting to see that the case was won by the government. So it looks like there was too much power to the people. They were anti-discriminatory, anti-competitive, and discriminatory, which is why I wanted to make this video. Now, I make videos particularly so you get acquisition rebuttal. Acquisition rebuttal is if you see something down the street and she's particularly in power over you, then you would have something back to say or something rebuttaling just based off how you look, because there is the government consensus of Asian and all these other things that you have to check on just to identify yourself. People do back themselves up with that, so there's terrible things going on, and probably misunderstood is understood, but it's still prevalent in today's society. If you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe.